just ahead on CTV News.
As more details emerge about the victims in the deadly plane and helicopter crash, some of those victims have ties to Prince George's. I'm Katara Jones. I'll tell you more about them coming up on CTV News.
Plus, candidates for the county executive make their voices heard to residents.
We are here at Sandy Point Beach where hundreds of Marylanders just went into the freezing Chesapeake Bay for a great cause. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll have more coming up on CTV News.
Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for January 31st. I'm Mariah Jalad. Thanks for joining us. Well, the nation is still reeling from the tragedy in our skies. More than 40 bodies have been pulled from the Potomac River after what law enforcement officials are calling the deadliest air disaster in a generation. Investigators are still piecing together what led up to Wednesday night's crash when a passenger jet landing at Reagan National collided with a military helicopter. All 67 people aboard the two aircraft were killed. The National Transportation Safety Board has recovered the two black boxes from the jet, which contain recordings from the cockpit and flight data. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy urged people to not speculate on the cause of the crash and said a preliminary report could be ready in about 30 days. Recovery operations were back in action this morning in the Potomac as we learn more about the dozens of lives lost. Katara Jones is at Tucker Road Ice Rink, where many are mourning our local victims.
That's right, Mariah. We have now learned the name of two of the passengers that were on that American Airlines plane that collided mid-air with an Army helicopter. Now, they were Olivia Terr, 12 years old, and her mother, Olessa, from Fort Washington. Olivia was a talented figure skater and a rising star. Officials with Prince George's Parks and Recreation says Olivia started coming to the Tucker Road Ice Rink just 2 years ago when she was 10. Her skating improved so much that she was able to transition to being homeschooled, which afforded her the opportunity to practice more frequently. She was often at this very rink practicing 3 to 4 times a week, and her mother, Olessa, was right there with her, staying as she practiced and even traveling with her to competitions. Olivia was truly a remarkable figure skater, and in fact, she was one of 4 elite youth skaters from the region who were picked to attend the U.S. Figure Skating National Development Camp in Wichita, Kansas. Now, the reason she was on that American Airlines flight was because she was coming home from the camp with her mother. We have also learned that there were 5 other victims on board that flight with ties to Prince George's. Reports show that 4 of the victims were a part of the United Association of Steamfitters Local 602 from Capitol Heights. The other victim was a member of UA Plumbers and Gas Fitters Local 5 in Atlanta. These 5 victims were returning home from a duck hunting trip. Now, as we learn more about the names of the victims and funeral arrangements for Olivia and her mother, we will make sure to share it with you. Katara Jones, CTV News.
Thank you so much, Katara. And the Howard University community is mourning the loss of law professor Kia Duggins. University officials confirmed Kia was one of the victims aboard Flight 5342. She was a former attorney and earned her JD from Harvard Law School. Kia had deep ties to Kansas, where she was a 2-time pageant winner. And President Donald Trump tried to place blame for the crash on the previous administration and diversity hiring, though he wasn't able to provide any evidence. When asked what he'd seen to support his claims that diversity hiring and lowered standards had been responsible for the crash, he said, quote, "It just could have been." Congressman Glenn Ivey criticized President Trump's remarks.
I thought it was disgusting that he made those statements. Blaming it on DEI was ridiculous to start with, but on top of that, here you've got grieving families. They've just been told they've lost their loved ones in a tragic and unexpected accident. NTSB's just starting to get there to do the investigation, so it's clear he doesn't know what he's talking about. And he would still make a statement like that for obvious political purposes. So it's beyond unfortunate, but that seems to be the way he's going to operate as president. Instead of bringing people together, especially at a time of great grief, he's going to use it as a chance to leverage people and split them apart.
And later Thursday, Trump signed an executive order to unwind diversity programs at the Department of Transportation and the FAA. The FAA did say one air traffic controller was doing the job, typically split between two people on Wednesday night when the crash happened. The agency is now indefinitely closing airspace near the airport to most helicopter traffic. And Maryland senators were warning about DCA's overcrowding months before Wednesday's crash. Senator Chris Van Hollen and former Senator Ben Cardin were 2 of 4 senators who voted against an FAA reauthorization bill, including a measure to add 10 new flights to the airport. Van Hollen said adding flights could jeopardize its safety and operations. The FAA expressed concerns about overburdening the airport and the Senate putting convenience over safety. The bill did pass in the House, with all Maryland members voting yes. And in other news, last night at the Laurel Boys and Girls Club, candidates for the vacant county executive seat took part in a public forum. 10 of the 12 candidates made it to the stage. County Council at-large member Calvin Hawkins and Jesse Peed were noticeably absent. We spoke to some of the candidates about what they'd bring to the county executive seat and how they'll develop the county while facing a budget deficit.
I want better, and sometimes if you want better, you have to get up and do it yourself. Public safety is my top priority, and I'm going to make sure that our policemen have every resource they need to get the job done. My goal is to cut $100 million from the current budget, reallocate that to public safety. And that is done by looking at each expenditure and deciding if it's needed or if it's productive, and make a move from there.
I believe the county is hungry for something new, change, someone who understands how to pipeline a lot of our workers into these new existing jobs. We've got bioscience, FBI, we've got the Air Force Base, right? We've also have quantum computing. What are we doing? We have all the ingredients to actually get this county going, and we're not connecting the dots. There's a way to turn us around. Hand me the hot potato, because this is what I do. If you're looking for another politician to get us out of this, you'll be pressed to hear the real answers of how we do this. So I believe that if we refine our budget, we can grab a lot of those dollars that our state is budgeting in.
And stay with CTV News, as we will be bringing you one-on-one interviews with each of the 12 candidates starting Monday. You're watching CTV News. I'm Mariah Jalad. Still to come, the battle over the annexation of Hospital Hill is finally over. After the break, we have an update on who will get to claim the property. Back in a moment.
We are the nation's largest integrated healthcare system, providing life-changing care to over 9 million veterans.
Our hands are busy, competent, skilled, healing, helping, and friendly. A place where diverse teams come together hand in hand to provide full patient-centered care. Working in state-of-the-art facilities with influential leaders in healthcare, all with a single goal in mind: to help veterans heal, recover, and get their lives back. In a place where everyone plays a part and where your efforts are truly appreciated. A place so innovative and forward-thinking that we're rebuilding hands, and where even robots lend a hand.
Join hands with us. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are people of action. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Around the world, generations of leaders build new friendships and solve problems, turning great ideas into reality. Take action with us. Find out more
at rotary.org/action.
Hi, I'm the Big C. Hey, look at this beautiful couple. I knew as soon as I said that, I was like, don't say it, don't assume. Did you know more than 2 people die from skin cancer every hour?
Oh, man.
It's a bummer, but the good news is skin cancer is a cancer you can see, so you can go get checked. You can check each other regularly, make it romantic. Turns out I'm a matchmaking mirror. You're welcome. Love might be in the air.
Welcome back. The acting county executive convened with multiple Prince George's agencies this week to strategize the response to federal government orders that included clarifying the county's immigration policies. The meeting focused on understanding community feedback and finding ways to comply with federal and state laws while keeping Prince George's as a, quote, welcoming and inclusive community. The executive's administration says it will continue to hold interagency meetings weekly to keep departments aligned on enforcement updates and policy developments. Well, it's not every day a barbecue place wins an award from Congress, but today Congressman Glenn Ivey awarded a congressional citation to chef and owner of 250 Texas Barbecue, Fernando Gonzalez. Gonzalez is a Salvadorian immigrant and a trained civil engineer with a passion for Texas barbecue. Now he is a James Beard Best Chef Mid-Atlantic semifinalist. Gonzalez says his award illustrates the importance of the immigrant community.
It's way more than food or serving tasty barbecue. It's about sustainability, it's about equity, it's about building communities stronger, it's about helping producers to connect the dots with the food chain, and it's about creating a great place to work. So if you take a look at the restaurant, pretty much all members of the community are represented here.
Well, an arrest has been made in the deadly shooting in Oxon Hill shortly before the new year. A 17-year-old will be charged as an adult for fatally shooting 29-year-old Harvey Jones Jr. The shooting took place at the 6100 block of Oxon Hill Road on December 27th of last year. Officers found Jones suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to an area hospital where he later died. Investigation suggests the shooting came from an argument, but there's no known connection between the suspect and victim at this time. And the battle over the annexation of Hospital Hill is now over, as the city of Bladensburg has officially dropped its attempt to annex the property. Bladensburg officials made the announcement on Wednesday after receiving reassurances that officials and residents would have input into the future development of the property. Bladensburg, Chevrolet, and the county all agreed in court Thursday to a 15-day temporary restraining order to dispute all previous lawsuits. And every year, Special Olympics Maryland holds the Polar Bear Plunge at Sandy Point Beach to support our special athletes. And CTV's Bryce Parker is at Sandy Point Beach, and it seems that even a little rain can't stop one of the most anticipated events of the winter.
So we're here today at Sandy Point Beach, where some members of Prince George's County law enforcement just went into the water in the freezing Chesapeake Bay. Here with Sheriff Carr. You went in the water?
Yes, we're in the water with our Frozen Stars, this wonderful team right here, made up of deputy sheriffs, from assistant sheriffs, corporals, deputies, out here for a good cause.
Right. And so what is the cause? I heard, Special Olympics Maryland, there's some other corporations out here. Why did you think this was the time to come out and support them?
It's always good when law enforcement can actually support our community, especially when it comes to Special Olympics and our citizens who actually go out and they deal with things each and every day. We want to make sure we show our support. Special Olympics has been a very big part in our community, and we want to make sure that we're able to always be there for them.
Right, it's my understanding that y'all do this event every single year, and there's going to be another Polar Bear Plunge tomorrow as well.
Yes, it is, and we always do it, and it's always sponsored by this wonderful lady here, one of our assistant sheriffs who, this is Assistant Sheriff Wiseman, who does a wonderful job of getting everybody together, so I do want to give her a shout out and let her know, why do we do this?
Yes, why are you here?
For the community, for our Special Olympics athletes, we really want to show our support for them, and our past members that have done this, we've done this for multiple years. We just want to support our retirees, the members that we've lost. They were all good advocates for Special Olympics and their athletes.
Right, did you go in the water today?
I did.
How cold was it?
It was pretty cold. I still can't feel my toes.
Pretty cold. Well, thank you all so much for your service. Thank you all for, coming out to this great event. We're going to go back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Bryce. Hopefully her toes have warmed up by now. Well, the fun's not over yet. Governor Westmore will be participating in the polar bear plunge tomorrow. And still to come on CTV News, you have to know your past to predict your future. And now researchers at NASA have unlocked a piece of our solar system's history. Find out how after the break.
We hear the stories of people forced to abandon their home. The stories of people whose dreams have been swept away, or their lives left hanging by a thread. Or whose worlds have been blasted apart. Although the stories repeat themselves, each person's experience is unique as they are. And whether it's care or community that people need, we're here to help them live a new chapter, to embrace what makes them unique, be a lifeline to the most vulnerable.
Out! Out! Everybody out! Come on!
Good job. Under 2 minutes.
Keep your loved ones safe from home fires. Practice a 2-minute drill until it's part of your routine. And test your smoke alarms monthly.
In America, millions of families are facing hunger. After rent and power, I can get groceries. It's sad to say food comes last. Anna from Texas. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Well, NASA just unlocked a piece of our solar system's history and maybe even the origins of life. Rocks and dust from asteroid Bennu, brought back by the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft, contain amino acids, also known as the building blocks of life, and traces of salt water. These ingredients suggest the early solar system had the right conditions to spark life, not just on Earth, but maybe elsewhere.
It tells us that these were available in the early solar system, that things like Bennu would have been bombarding the early Earth, or Mars, Enceladus, Europa, Sirius, where have you, and that the chemistry that happened here could have happened in these other wet, alkaline, ocean-over environments. So perhaps the ingredients for life were common. Life seems to be difficult. It formed on Earth. It didn't form on Bennu. We'll find out someday if there's evidence for it on Mars or elsewhere in the solar system. But the ingredients seem to be widespread.
And while it's not proof of life beyond Earth, scientists say the findings raise the odds that life could have started elsewhere. And a local convenience store is offering a refreshing pick-me-up after a long winter month. For today only, 7-Eleven is offering customers a free small Slurpee to celebrate the end of January. Studies show that 41% of Americans feel their mood dips during the colder months. The retailer said that while some enjoy the winter chill, many are ready for sunshine and spring temperatures. But if you missed today's free Slurpee giveaway, you'll have another chance this upcoming Slurpee Day all the way in July on the 11th. And high rollers, listen up. The Potomac Winter Poker Open is returning to MGM National Harbor next month. From February 5th to the 17th, the region's leading poker tournament will offer nearly 2 weeks of events and major winnings. That includes a $1 million guaranteed opener and a $200,000 guaranteed no-limit hold'em high roller. There will also be a rookie event, double stack, no-limit hold'em, and more. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm glad it's Friday. I know what I'm doing, but if you don't have any plans this weekend, let's ask Brittany Aaliyah, what's the move?
Happy Friday. So the weekend is finally here,
And if you're a car lover like me, you don't want to miss the 2025 DC Auto Show. Doors open today, and it's the region's largest indoor car event showcasing hundreds of new vehicles and family-friendly attractions running through February 9th. And look, tomorrow at 8 p.m., I want you to check out the legendary Casey and the Sunshine Band at the National Harbor's MGM Theater. Now, you've heard their hits in classic movies and TV shows, but they're bringing those same infectious disco hits to life on their Doing It World Tour. They promise an unforgettable night of nostalgia and disco magic. So, last week, the Super Plungers dove into the Chesapeake Bay, but this Saturday at Sandy Point State Park, everybody can join the official polar bear plunge. And let me just remind you, you're not just taking a chilly dip, you're also supporting over 19,000 Special Olympics Maryland athletes and unified teammates with essential sports programs. So this is what you should do. You should go out there and you should make waves and make a difference. Okay, Commanders fans, look, I'm so proud of us and what our team accomplished this season. And though we didn't quite make it to the Super Bowl or have a parade, there's another huge parade hitting the streets on Sunday. The Chinese Lunar New Year Parade in DC's Chinatown is happening, and they're featuring stunning performances and a spectacular firecracker finale to celebrate the year of the snake. This is another fun-filled weekend, guys, so have fun, and I'll see you all next weekend on What's the Move?
Thanks, Brittany. Sounds like a packed weekend. Still to come on CTV News, Simon Buggs has our Friday sports page.
Hey sports fans, are you in the mood for some basketball highlights? Well, you're in luck, as I have that and more coming up on your Friday sports page. Don't move.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit asiaretirement.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
What's going on, sports fans? I have a great sports page in store for you today. Let's get right to it. There was some high school hoops action last night as Friendly High traveled to Largo to take on the girls basketball team. Largo's Aaliyah Rodriguez got off to a great start in the game, making this reverse layup as well as this pull-up three while in transition. And combine that with the Lady Lions playing some solid D, they were able to jump out to a 12-2 lead. Friendly continued to struggle for the rest of the quarter, and the Lady Patriots went into the second down, 27-7. The Lady Patriots played better on offense in the second quarter, as the team doing a good job of swinging the rock to find the open man in Jasmine Germany to knock down this triple, and Germany making another good play as no one could stop her on her way to scoring inside with this layup helped her team score double digits in the period. But Largo was able to stay out in front mainly because of more nice defensive plays like this steal from Aja Harris, who then got the and one layup on the fast break. And the Lady Lions went into halftime up 39-18. And Friendly didn't survive their trip to the Lions Den as they lost the game 59-37. Meantime, it was a packed house over at Bowie High School as the boys basketball squad looked to get a win against Wise. The Pumas wasted no time getting their first bucket of the night as senior guard Jason Frost hit this contested midi soon after the opening tip. But soon after, number 3 for Bowie, Sori Cargbo, laced this tray ball to give his team their first points of the night, and the Bulldogs were now down 4-3 to begin the game. It was a close one throughout the quarter. Made buckets from Wise like this inside finish from Eric Wedge kept his team out in front the whole period. But the Bulldogs weren't that far behind as Kamali Burns, using his lightning quick speed to get to the cup, helped his team only end the quarter down 14-10. In the second quarter, Wise kept her foot on the gas, and shots like this putback layup from Rasan Galat, as well as Wedge driving baseline to finish at the rim, combined with some turnovers from Bowie, helped Wise go into halftime up 30-22. The Pumas kept their lead for the next 2 quarters and took down the Bulldogs 64-46. Man, those were some good games, y'all. In other news, the Terps women's golf spring season is in full swing as they took on Virginia today in the Collegiate Invitational at the Guadalajara Country Club earlier today. Now, the fall season is great for figuring out what a team needs to do in order to have a successful spring. And head coach Kelly Hovland wants her team to be more consistent during this spring season.
I think the fall really gave some of our younger players some experience competing at the highest level in a very competitive schedule. And in those events, they were able to shoot a lot of rounds under par. Some of the most rounds under par we've ever had in program history. We just really couldn't finish off too many events. And so that's kind of really what I'm looking forward to in the spring, is continuing to shoot those low scores, but do it a little bit more consistently throughout the tournament. And I think that'll take kind of some of the finishes that we were in the middle of the pack and take us right up to the top of the leaderboard.
Moving on to the NHL, the Washington Capitals did fall to the Ottawa Senators last night in overtime, 5-4. But star player Alexander Ovechkin did score 1 goal in the matchup, and with that, he is now just 19 goals away from passing Wayne Gretzky for the most goals scored all time. He and the rest of the Caps will take the ice next against the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And that is your Friday Sports Page. Simon Bucks, CTV Sports. Back to you, Mariah.
Thanks, Simon. And before we go, let's check out the 3-day weather forecast. If you're heading out tonight, the rain should be letting up just before 10. Tomorrow, it's going to be cloudy, but it will clear up throughout the day. It's going to be 46 degrees. Sunday will be mostly cloudy with a high of 42. Monday, partly sunny, and we reach a high of 61 to kick off the work week. And for our community calendar, tomorrow, the City of College Park is hosting a Lunar New Year celebration. This event will feature traditional music, martial arts demonstrations, a book giveaway for children, and food from local Asian eateries. This event takes place from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at City Hall. For questions or more information, email events@collegeparkmd.gov. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again Monday. Good night.